How to solve worded problems involving subtraction and addition, or addition and subtraction. So, first thing about any worded problems, we need to read the question carefully. Read it again. Really understand what the problem is asking us to do. Highlight the keywords, solve, and then check. Let's look at some of the keywords that will normally mean addition. Total, and, altogether, and more than. Total and altogether sometimes require multiplication, not addition, and that's normally where we have many objects of the same thing, so it's going to be easier to multiply than to add them all up. Subtraction, what words are associated with subtraction? Difference, left, how much is left over? More. For example, Jimmy has 8 marbles, Lucy has 5 marbles. How many more does Jimmy have? Jimmy has 3 more. Change. So go into a shop, give the shopkeeper £10. Shopping costs £8, you get £2 change. And then words when you're comparing things. Cheaper. How much cheaper something is than something else as you subtract. How much higher you could jump, and so on. So these are the words associated with addition and subtraction, but sometimes the question can be worded in such a way where it's not this straightforward. So it's very, very important that you are careful with vocabulary. It's not just about identifying the key words. They will give you an idea of what to do, but you've got to read the question really carefully and work out exactly what to do. Now, if you're struggling what to do, you can do the following. You could use the bar method. I'll show you how to do that on a couple of questions in a minute. You could highlight the important words. You could imagine the problem as a real-life situation or a story. And the last word is often the last operation to be completed. So, let's have a look at an example question. A shop sells 3 different types of sunglasses. What is the difference between the most expensive and the least expensive sunglasses? So I'm going to read it again in my head. Then I'm highlighting the keywords. Now I'm lucky this time because they're in bold. Often the keywords are in bold. Let's say I can't remember what difference is. If the numbers are simpler, it's often easier to see. So I know this to the nearest whole pound is £6, that's the most expensive, and the least expensive is £3. The difference between 6 and 3 is 3. 6 take away 3 is 3. I can kind of see that in my head. So sometimes making the numbers simpler makes it easier to stand out. Another thing that you can do is the thing that I talked about before, which is the bar method. So we take the most expensive and we draw a bar for £5.85, and then we do a shorter bar for £2.99. Now the difference is that there, isn't it? The difference between this and this. So that's again showing you that it's subtraction when we're comparing the two. So we're happy it's subtraction. Now we're going to do our actual maths. The method of the column subtraction. And I think my answer is £2.86. I'm going to check. Have I got the most expensive? Yes. Have I got the least expensive? Yes. Okay, so I'm going through, checking my subtraction. Right, I'm happy that I've done the calculation correctly. We were looking for an answer of around £3, and our answer is around £3, so it's £2.86. Let's now look at a slightly harder question. So that's a question that involves one calculation, quite a simple one. This one involves 2 calculations. The shop also sells sun hats, which are £3.29. Ryan buys a £4.69 sunglasses and a sun hat. How much change does he get from £10? Now this is a good question where you can think of the real life problem. Imagine you're going into the shop. Imagine you're Ryan, you pick up the £4.69 sunglasses and the hat. So you've got 2 objects you take to the shopkeeper. So the key word here for the first part is and. So we need to work out the total cost and then how much change from £10. There's 2 keywords and we're going to do the calculations in the order in which we see them. So the first thing we're going to do is and was associated with add. So it's £4.69 add £3.29. I'm going to show my workings. £7.98, quick check. Yeah, £7.98. So my shopping costs £7.98 for the sunglasses and the hat. How much change do I get from £10? Change is £10. Let's say we can't remember. Draw this bar again. There's my £10, which is my and there's the amount of money it costs. So this is the amount of money I will get back in my change. Okay, so that shows you how that works. So just drawing a little sketch for this bar model method sometimes does help. So £10, lining up my decimal point. Now I need to be careful with my subtraction here. So £10 take away £7.98, £2 and 2p. Does it look right? Well, the nearest whole pound, £7.98 is £8, and 10 take away 8 is 2, so it looks correct. Let's just check I've done it correctly. Yeah, so I'm happy that my answer is £2 and 2p, and you've got to make sure you put the units in here as well at the end. Right, so that's how we solve worded problems. So just to recap, read the question, highlight the keywords, think the problem through. Not sure what to do? Use the bar method to draw things out so it makes it easier to see. Imagine the problem's a real life situation. Remember what the keywords often stand for, and then think through the vocabulary carefully, think what it's asking you to do, and then remember to solve the question. And often the last keyword is the last thing that you do. Not always, but often. So that's the guide on how to solve worded problems involving addition and subtraction.